All right, let's talk about some additions to the two pinch pots with a lid, combined pinch pots with a lid that, would change it up, make it a little more interesting. So let's say you've got your two pinch pots put together, lip to lip, right? Each one has a flat bottom. And previously I demonstrated how you could cut the lid, maybe put a knob on it. But let's say you want to make it something really interesting, something really different. Let's say you want a domed lid, much like this one, right? Which was made with two pinch pots, just one had a flat bottom, one had a curved bottom. But let's say you get to this point and you don't want to be stuck with the flat bottom. Well, you can change it. You can simply just cut it off and then make another pinch pot that would match, right? And if it doesn't match exactly, you can change this, or even you can alter this a little bit by cutting out what's called darts, and you would cut them out evenly. I'm only going to do 4 here, all the way around. Now again, for this demo, I'm going to take a few shortcuts here because I'm not really going to keep this one, but if I was going to, I would be slipping and scoring these darts, but you can see that you can collapse them, and that brings that pinch pot in a little more narrow. Now I might have made them a little too much, but it fits. So now I would slip and score both items that are going to be attached. All right, again, I'm doing this really quickly for the demo. If I were going to keep this, I would make it, spend a little more time doing it perfect. But you can see that, I've changed the flat bottom into the domed bottom. And then from here, there's still more that I can do. Like if I wanted to turn this into, let's say, a pouring vessel or teapot-ish kind of thing, right? What I would do, I would, clean this up a little bit more, slip and score along the outside connection, but I'm not going to cut the lid in this demo because it's the same as the others, but, I could have a handle already kind of, rolled out and again, slipped and scored really well. And then I'm going to show you how to make a quick spout, right? Again, I'm not really doing the best slipping and scoring here. I'm just kind of knocking it out real fast to show you. All right, but let me talk about a spout now. And so I'm just going to cut this lid just so it looks fine. And also so I know where to put the spout. And I'll talk about that in just a second. Now I would normally, clean this lid up and I would cut it either with an X-Acto knife or, the method of slowly sort of gouging the tool through. And then also, of course, using the paper so the lid doesn't stick. But again, since this isn't really a thing that I'm going to keep, I'm just going to cut the lid here for the demo purposes. Now, for the spout, let me talk about making it first. I am going to demonstrate just a small spout, not one that goes up top here, not one that comes from the bottom here and goes up. So for that type of spout, you really don't even need much clay. So I'm just going to start off with a little cylinder of clay. And again, a lot like the pinch pot, you want to make sure that there's no creases and they are all completely smoothed out. And you don't need a lot of tools for this. You really only need your needle tool. All right, and this, by the way, is the way some beads are made too, on a much smaller scale. So I'm just going to take my needle tool, I'm going to insert it perfectly in the center here, and I'm going to push it all the way through, keeping it you know, as level as I can so it comes out in the center here. And then I'm just going to roll and push my tool forward, again, as evenly as possible. I'm kind of aiming a little bit down too. And as I do this, you can see that the needle tool is getting pushed further and further through the form here. I'm going to flip it around and do the other way. And I've just made a real nice hollow cylinder, right? And I can kind of expand this and work on it. You know, again, it takes practice. You may mess up a few before you really get a good one. And so I can use this. I'm going to use this one here I made a little bit earlier. But I'm going to bring my teapot back in. And now my spout, I want to put up pretty high. And I can put it on just so it shoots out, just like this. Or I can cut a little bit off at an angle. See that? So that the spout goes up a little bit. Now I don't want to put the spout down here because then that means I can only fill this much with water, right? If I put the spout, because it's gonna flow out the spout before, you know, it fills up to the top. So if I put the opening of the spout above the opening of my lid, then I'm good. Then I can fill this up all the way. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a little hole where I want the spout to go. And then, you know, I'll clean that up a little bit, and then I'll slip and score this on. And I really want to impress that a lot of making successful pottery is working it at all of the stages of the clay as it dries. Make sure that your spout is in line, you know, with your handle. But what I was saying is you're going to work this at all stages of drying. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean up as much as I can while it's, you know, wet. But I'm also going to later, when it's dry, I'm going to take a sponge and I'm going to smooth out, you know, any bumps or crumbs that are on the surface. I mean, I'll do as much as I can now, but also too, this is really, really soft. And a lot of times if I go ahead and, you know, touch one area, it's going to push another area out of place where I want it. So, you know, if I let this just set up a little bit more to get a little bit more leather hard, then I can go ahead and really pay attention to all the fine little details that need, you know, touching up or cleaning up. And so by that I mean, you know, I can leave the spout until later when I can come back with a sharper tool and then maybe cut a nice, see, it's not really doing it very nice now, but I mean, I can cut a nice little pouring area here. See, if I do it now, I can get the general shape, but really as it stiffens up a little bit, I'm going to come back to this and really kind of get some water on my fingers and you know, clean this up a little bit nicer. But anyway, I've got a nice little lidded and handled and spouted container here from the 2-pinch pots with a lid.